Alright guys, so we're going over some more physical challenges for the Riddler guide. Going to go over everything on line 2 right now. We're going to start off with number 1, which is the aerial attack off a stunned enemy into another. There's 3 of these required. Kind of tricky to do. Your basic buttons are going to be O, which is stun, XX, which is jump after the stun, and then you're going to have to mash the analog stick one direction and hit square. Now, if you watch what I do right here, I didn't do it correctly. What you want to do is you want to stun, jump, jump. Immediately after you're done hitting the X button, you want to mash the analog stick and hit square. You can see I do it sometimes, you can see other times I miss it, but you can quite clearly see when it's actually done. The trick to this is there's no prompt to wait to hit the analog stick and square. Basically, you got to do it as soon as you stop hitting the X button. That's really the only trick with this one, pretty easy. We're going to move on to the second one, which is to use the slide to trip an enemy, which there's also 3 required. I'm going to be doing it in the same area. Basically what you got to do with this one is you got to run at the enemies, be running, which is holding X, and then when you get near them, just hold R2, which is crouch, and you slide right under them. And you'll see I actually got 2 on that first slide, and I'm going to come over and get the third, and that was it. Basic, simple technique, just got to find enemies and slide them out. Pretty simple. So we're going to move right on to the third one, moving right along, which is perform a beatdown to finish an enemy, and there are 5 required. So I'm going to go ahead and splice 5 of them in because you don't have to watch me run around and find them. Basically any area post-game, this is all post-game, any area that has enemies, you can perform a beatdown. Basic beatdown technique is O, which is stun, and then mash the square button, which is attack. I froze this guy so that he wouldn't shoot me, so I'm just going to stun him to break him and get him back up. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit O to stun, and now I'm just mashing the square button to beat him down. So there's 1. Here's 2. O, square, 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 square. 2. Here's 3. Here's the 4th one. And you can check in the select menu, it'll tell you what your progression is of these. But there's number 4, and here's number 5. Now, once again, it's quite simple to do. You just have to hit O to stun them, and then when they got the little stars above their head, you just got to mash the square button to attack them. So let's move right along to the next one, which is going to be to counter an enemy projectile. There are 3 of these required. Here's a really good place to do it post-game. It's right in front of the church. There are little green crates everywhere where the guys are holding them. So you can see the green crate there on my right. Just going to jump around a second for a guy to pick one up. I see him pick one up. I'm going to avoid combat. Just going to walk around until he throws it at me. I'm going to hit triangle when the thing appears above the crate to counter, which is just going to pick it up and throw it back at him. That's 1. Basically, I'm just going to walk around these crates till they pick up another one. So here's the second one, same thing. Now what I had to do to get them to pick up the crates is I actually had to walk inside the church and walk back out. That's why this guy has the same crate again, because I actually walked in the church and walked back out. But as you can see, that's the 3. That's as simple as that. Just counter them when the thing comes above their head. We're going to move right along to the next one, which is to hit an explosive object with the Batarang before it is thrown. Now, a really good place to do this post-game is actually inside the museum. If you go all the way back to the war room where you first found Mr. Freeze, there's a couple propane tanks. This is me walking right into the room. There's 4 enemies there. This is on easy post-game. Gonna just go in there, gonna rile stuff up a bit. Just gonna annoy the enemies, get them to, attack me. You can see propane tanks lying around. Basically what you're going to do with this is as soon as someone picks up a propane tank, you're just going to use the Combo Batarang, which is the same as Quickfire Batarang, which is the L1L1 Quickfire. He's got the propane tank. There you go, Batarang. It's just 1's required for this. That's it. Hit an explosive. It'll blow up in his hands. Pretty easy to do. This is the really good place to find it post-game on easy. We're going to move right along to the 6th one on this line, which is to take out 2 enemies at once with the glide boost attack. Now, this one's kind of easy. You just got to be somewhat far away from your enemy when you do it. you basically gotta, this is where I'm doing it, you basically gotta line two guys up in more or less a straight line, which you can see I have here. You're gonna glide, you're gonna hit square to boost, and while you're doing that, you're going to hold the R2 button, which is going to supercharge you going down. As you saw, there was a little yellow meter above the guy's head. When that fills up red, that means that you're fully charged, and he's just going to, you know, pick up the guy and throw him, basically. So basically, you're going to hold square to glide kick, and then you're going to hold R2. So we're going to move on to the next one, which is to use a combo batarang in combat. There are 10 of these required. Here's where I did it post-game. Really, anywhere there's 10 enemies. Basically, you're going to want to get into combat, have at least the ×1 counter. I'm not sure if that's required, but I did it that way. And just mash the heck out of the quickfire batarang, which is L1, L1, and it'll just pop up. I mean, very quickly. Just make sure, because it says in combat, I'm pretty sure you have to do this while you actually have a multiplier going, even if it's just ×1. That's the theory I went by. That's what I did. Now we're going to go on to number 8 on this line, which is the last one. I got them out of order, but they're in order on the video, which is to perform Batclaw Slam. There's 5 of these required. As you can see, my progress is already 1. Basically, this is a quick fire Batclaw, which is L1 triangle to an enemy, and then just hit the square button twice. You're going to see me do it here. L1 triangle, square, square. That was the slam. Now I'm going to do L1 triangle, square, square again. That was the slam. I'm going to do 5 of these. I already had 1, so I should only have to do 2 more. That was 4. And then we're going to go ahead and hit the 5th one. Now, oh, and I messed up. Going to go ahead and hit the 5th one again. L1 triangle, square, square. That's the 5th one. Really easy. That's the whole second line, guys. I hope that helped. Some good areas to do it. Once again, this is all post-game on easy, so proof that it can all be done after you've completed the game on easy mode.